Just, went from Instagram to Threads.
Okay.
But this weekend I was on there and this guy, he was like, there is no excuse. If you're in Houston, right, there's no excuse for you not to have community. He said he was just at Memorial Herman Park, and he saw a Black Snail Club.
What? There's a club for everything here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It takes effort. It takes real effort to build community, whether you're the leader or you're the participant, the member, whatever you want to call it. But there's an interest for everybody. So just find it.
Welcome to another episode of Elevate Your Impact podcast. I'm Jamila Robinson, your host and the founder of Elevate Your Impact, where we help nonprofits with their online presence and storytelling so that their impact is seen, supported, and sustained. And today we're talking about the business of belonging. Why community is not just a high-level concept, but it's a strategic one. And who better to have than a featured guest as Michelle Ngome, who is a community catalyst in this space. And I have personally dubbed you the people's champ in this lane. But I'll read some credentials so you understand why. She is the founder and CEO of the African American Marketing Association, marketing and outreach director for Goldman Sachs 10,000 Small Businesses program. Michelle is known for building intentional high-impact communities, a trusted voice in marketing, leadership, and belonging. And she's going to be our Q1 2026 featured presenter at Sunday Social, which is a meetup for nonprofit leaders that's happening February 22nd from 11 to 2 at Stuffed Wings here in the Houston area. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So, Michelle, you've built one of the most intentional communities I've seen. I'm excited to unpack how belonging actually drives impact.
When I started the African American Marketing Association, we'll say AMA for short, I had the idea in 2013. I was scared. I started planning in 2018. I was still scared, but I knew it was time. And it was just like, where is the space that Black marketers can go and talk about work? I was having problems at work. And I don't know about you, but you remember if you had a job.
I did.
You call your girlfriend and be like, am I tripping?
Yes. Yes. I call it a sanity check.
I like that.
Yes.
I like that.
Yes.
And it's like, she's not in marketing. She's like, you're not tripping, but I also don't know what you're talking about. So I'm like, where is this space that Black marketers can talk about not just work, but also business, right? The challenges of business, as well as, hey, there is this RFP I want to go after, but I know I can't do it by myself. I need talent. I need other freelancers. Let's combine forces. So that was the reason why some of the many reasons why I established AMA.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because my first question was essentially, how did this all come about?
Yeah.
Why did you need to build community?
Yeah.
And it sounds like community for you started with the phone conversations that you were having, and you took it to another level. It took you a minute.
Yeah.
You did it. What got you off that ledge?
I mean, there were so many things happening at the same time. Some of the stuff I just shared. I also remembered there was a popular industry publication that came out with their top 100 list of marketers, brand strategists, and influencers or whatever. And there was no Black people on there. And then there was only 11 women on there out of 100. And I'm like, I follow dozens of people on LinkedIn that I think are, Fortune 100 companies. So like, where's the disconnect? And I was like, I can make my own list.
And you did.
And I was like, I can make my list through, once again, it wasn't Alma at the time.
Yes.
But I can make it through, this community that I need to create. So it was just a couple of different things that added the fuel to the fire.
That's cool. Yeah. So we're building our theme for Social Sundays Meetup, the business of belonging.
Yes.
Why do you believe community building just isn't relational but intentional?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's everything we just said, right? It's the belonging piece, that safe space. Lots of times when we think about safe space, we think about mental health, and that's important, right? We definitely need that. But community is everywhere. Like I'm not a runner. I am not a track star, but I love these run clubs, right? These fitness groups.
There is true community there.
Yeah,
As a runner, I can speak to that.
There's community everywhere, and it's a two-way street where someone has to make the decision to start, and then the other person's going to make the decision to join. And then collectively, how can we support each other? How can we grow? How can we share? How can we bring other people involved? Now, my new addiction is Threads. So
I need to start following you there.
I just, went from Instagram to Threads.
Okay.
But this weekend I was on there, and this guy, he was like, there is no excuse. If you're in Houston, right, there's no excuse for you not to have community. He said he was just at Memorial Herman Park, and he saw a Black Snail Club.
What? There's a club for everything here.
That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
It takes effort. It takes real effort to build community, whether you're the leader or you're the participant, the member, whatever you want to call it. But there's an interest for everybody. So just find it.
You're right. And Houston is kind of a unicorn for that. And it may be because we have so many people coming from all over who are just seeking community. And it doesn't matter around what. So because we built all of these outlets for people to lean into and connect. So you often talk about personal brand as a bridge to community. How can nonprofit leaders leverage their lived experience and voice without feeling self-promotional or like they're talking about themselves too much?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I think I struggled with that in the beginning myself. There definitely has to be the balance. I forgot what the ratio was, but it was like 30% entertainment, 30% education, and maybe 30% personal, and those numbers are off. But I think there has to be a balance. I think I do believe I have a strong personal brand, but I still have a sense of privacy. So you definitely have to find what is comfortable for you.
Yes.
One thing I want Almost to do a better job this year. I'm glad people know me for the organization, but my intention, it's always been a community platform. And I say that, but I know I need to do a better job demonstrating that, right? So we're going to start Alma Amplify, and we want our members to share their wins, right?
Oh, nice.
So they can submit the form, and then we'll share that on social media, our newsletter, right? Because, we say we have a community, but people need to see the community, right? And that's the power of social media, whether it's going to be the individual post or the collective post when we're at meetups. But it's like, all of that goes into your content as well as the personal brand, right? Because it's kind of like you're playing double duty. Right? So it's like, yes, there's Michelle Ngome, but I know Michelle Ngome is the leader of Alma.
Right. And so now your community also has more faces because other people are telling their stories through your community platform.
And that's content, right?
That's absolutely content.
And I actually think that enhances your leadership skill, your leadership ability, because you're highlighting other people as well.
Agreed. So LaShawn doesn't have to stay on you. Is that what you're saying?
Please take it. Please. And I'm going to say this because sometimes people feel selfish or guilty. I think there's still a delicate balance.
Yes.
And I tell my team, I was like, look, I'm going to win. Y'all might not see that win or not. And I just say that because I've been given opportunities that I've never even, they'll be like, hey, can you judge this marketing?
Right.
I was like, oh.
Out of the blue.
Yeah, right? And then I'm in New York. I'm doing all of the judging at home, but now I'm in New York at an event and I get to meet Goldman St. John.
Wow.
It's like,
This is my life.
But
Yes.
that came because I created something.
That's right.
That came because I'm providing content, because I'm demonstrating expertise, and I think it's thriving, and that's non-financial.
Right.
That's not, but and to me that's a win, because it's like I'm going back to that Power 100 list several years ago, and I'm like, how come Bozeman's not? I don't even know this woman.
Right.
I'm like, how come she ain't on the list?
Yes.
Right? And then you fast forward, I'm minding my business and keeping my head down. I'm doing the work, and
now you're on the list.
Well, not even that. It's just I get to meet her.
That's
I get to have a conversation, and it's like it's sometimes, and I don't want a celebrity influencer, but it's like, I don't know if I would have ever met her. Like, I don't know how I would have met her.
Right.
Right.
It opens up windows.
Exactly.
I love that. So many leaders build communities that gather but don't always mobilize. Kind of what you're talking about. What shifts a community from connection to collective action?
Yeah, that's good. This is something that's been on my mind for a while now. I think it starts off as the community, as a connection, right? Whether it's a digital platform, a Facebook group, or a Discord, whatever. Maybe we're just meeting up for coffee chat. Like, all of that's essential. I think it does depend on what kind of community that you're creating. One thing that I want Alma to focus on this year is, the importance of small business advocacy. And I say small business because agency owners, production companies, they're small businesses, right? And I eventually want us to get to the point, like, I know this, but I want us to get to the point where there's an intersection of small business and politics. Like, I see these other groups, especially chambers, they'll go to Austin for legislation. And it's like, is that something Alma should do? So I've still got to figure that out. I would like us to work to that point. But I want us to get to where we can advocate for our small business owners. Houston is hot right now. We have FIFA World Cup coming here, as well as, so many other cities. So we're trying to get that information out. And they had an info session a couple of months ago, and people were like, I didn't even know this except from your newsletter.
Oh, wow.
Like, I didn't see this promoted anywhere. It was on your newsletter. So I'm like, you know what? How can we get that information to our business owners so they can register and be vendors when these opportunities come, not just in Houston, but nationwide?
Agreed. What's one mistake you see leaders make when trying to build community, and what would you recommend that they do differently?
I think the hardest part is deciding if you want to formalize the community as a business, whether it's for-profit or nonprofit. Do you want to make this a formal entity and assume that responsibility? Because then it goes from, hey, y'all, let's just meet up.
Processes and procedures, board meetings, all the things that come with an entity. Here we go. Yes, and then that's a key decision.
Assigning roles, delegations, funding. So I think that's something you really have to sit with and make that decision. Like, okay, yes, we're a community. 6 months, 12 months has gone by. What do I want to do? I started this. What do I want to do as a leader on how we keep going for the next 6, 12, maybe 3 to 5 years? What
is that one of the things that kept you on the bench from 2013 to
what was it, 2018? No,
you hadn't even thought that first.
No, okay. I was so green. Sometimes I miss those days. Oh God. No, honestly, I was in my late 20s. I had just graduated from my master's, and I left corporate, and I was starting my business, Line 25 Consulting. And I knew there was a need for Alma. But I was like, I can't handle all of this right now. Like,
and look,
it's too much.
You're handling that and much more.
But I'll say this, I thank God for everything. Because between that 2013 to 2018, I have served on 2 boards. I went through several leadership programs. I was being developed when I didn't know I was being developed.
He has a way of doing that, doesn't he? And then it's like, oh, that's what this is about? Okay.
Yeah. And then it was just, I was actually talking to a friend the other day, and we were talking about PhD programs for some reason. And I was like, you know what? In 2018, the fall of 2018, I applied for a doctorate program and I got declined. And I was like, oh, I guess I'll do Alma. I have nothing else to do.
Just flip it. Nonchalant about it. Well, here we go.
God was like, you can't do both. And I was like, you're right. I know.
Made for you.
I was like, I know.
Yes. I love that. He works in mysterious ways. So here's my next question. At Sunday Social Q1, what do you want leaders to walk away with after your session? Because we're going to, you're going to speak, and then we're going to have a panelist session
I think,
and all the things.
I'm on something semi-different now. I want people, I want to get to the point where I want to share what's not being said about leadership.
Yes.
Right. And I think lots of times, if we go back 15, 20 years, we're thinking leadership, tall, stuffy, high and mighty, a whole bunch of money. This person knows everything. They're stern, do as I say and do as I do.
I'm the A-type in the room.
And it's none of that. It's like, listen, we're all trying to figure this thing out. And I'm going
to lean into my team now.
Yeah.
I'm not going to just try and figure it out behind closed doors.
So I want people to walk away with that. And I think, yes, we talk about community, but I also know, yes, I'm creating a community, but I also need a leadership community, right? So I have a group of friends that we're all presidents and leaders in our respected rights, and we get together on a quarterly basis and touch base. And it's, so I want leaders to know, it's like, yes, you're creating this community, but make sure you find your own leadership community to pour into yourself. Another thing is, it's okay to take a break.
Yes.
Right? And that break can look like many different things. It could look like maybe on the couch on Sunday doing absolutely nothing. Maybe it's taking that drive to go see a friend that's an hour away, and you're probably going to get the most clarity during that drive that you got during the whole week. So what does that break look like for you? And feel free to explore that and not feel guilty about it. Because a lot of us, we're doing the work the right way. Can we tighten up? Absolutely. Right. But honestly, like, people have been seeing me, but when you had your event in November, that was like my first time speaking in almost 2 years.
Oh, wow.
And I've been working my way up to certain things, but in essence, I was on a 2-year hiatus, right? And that's a long break. And it's like, yeah, I'm gonna show you at these events. And I was like, yes, I'm visible, but
was that intentional?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
I was overwhelmed. And come to Jesus moment, I was like, something has to give. There was things that I had to let go of. What may seem like it's in the background, it's in the front. It's just, I don't know if you're paying attention. I didn't make any announcements, but there was definitely things that I had to let go of. I had to take a step back from my personal brand, which including the speaking and, all this kind of stuff, and just do the work of Alma, because that's what needed me. And I'm still trying to figure that out. And another thing for me is, I always say I'm not in the business of taking money, right? I did decline some projects here and there because it's like, I don't have anything. Like, I'm not talking about that. Right. I'm not gonna.
What value am I adding, or is it adding for me?
Like, I'm literally depleted right now, and I'm not gonna make anything up just to get a couple of $1,000s here and there, But now I'm back, baby. I'm back.
Offers, come on.
I've been cooking. I can't wait to share. But I think people have to, be honest with themselves when it comes to stuff like that. And I think with social media, it's very hard because we get in that fix and we're rotating and it's like, man, this person's posting and they're doing this and my competitor that. And I was just like,
yeah, you got to get off the rat wheel.
Yeah. And I'm not going to say, I definitely look, man, I wish that was me. I definitely still have those moments, but I know like I'm on pause right now.
Yeah. So, gosh, she just dropped 2 gold nuggets. I'll repeat them in case you didn't catch all of that. 1, build community around leadership. So you have people you can bounce ideas off of, get sound decision making from. And then 2, give yourself a break. I've recently learned that last one in the last year. I just intentionally take Fridays off to do whatever it is I want. If that's just binge watching Netflix or, sleeping and taking several naps before my kids get home, that's what I'm doing. Or if it's intentionally going to a networking event, because social media breakfast is on Fridays. I love being in that community. But that's not work to me, right? That's something I want to do. And I've also started doing art tours and visits around the city because
nice.
Yeah, Houston is so
I like that.
It's so full of culture. And I go with my art friend and it's a blast.
Yeah.
So thank you for those 2 bits of wisdom. Before we close out, I do want to ask you this. If a nonprofit leader listening today feels disconnected or overwhelmed, what's one step they can take this week to begin rebuilding community?
I would say find mentorship, but mentorship has evolved, right? We have all of these digital platforms. So if there's no one in your local community, who's that online brand and personality that you like? Go through that YouTube. Well, I love YouTube. Go through, go through that binge of content. Figure out what you like about them, what you don't like, what you can apply to your personal brand, to your community, and see what works for you. But if you have someone in your community, local, that you can meet with on a regular basis, by all means. But we definitely need that mentorship, that sponsorship to help us, weather this bumpy ride, especially now when at least it comes to some of our minority-based organizations and funding is drying up and it's a trickle effect. It's like, what are some of these other sources that we need to lean into, learn from, that will allow us to reevaluate our organization and do things differently in a good way.
I love that. And before we leave, I need you to give Amma some shine. Tell the audience what Amma is all about, your next cohort coming up.
Yeah.
It's great community, guys. I'll let you share.
So Amma is a 501c3 nonprofit. Our mission is to educate, empower, and elevate Black marketers, creatives, and entrepreneurs. So we have so many things. We have monthly programming. We have our coffee chat. We just had it on the first Saturday of each month. We're going to add virtual on the first.
I might be able to make that.
Yeah, so working through that. And then we just have monthly programming. So please visit our website, which I'm going to drop in a minute. And then we have the Business and Marketing Bootcamp, aka BOMB. Yes. It's a no-cost 12-week intensive for entrepreneurs to get their marketing foundations together. We teach on messaging, brand identity, ads, websites, you name it. We discuss it.
It's like going back to school. I'll just tell you right here and right now. But it's good because you get to apply the practicum into your own business. What better way to learn?
Yeah, messaging is so important. So Dana Hewling, BID Creative, she leads that. She's incredible. But yeah, for everything that we do, please visit aa-ma.org, aa-ma.org.
Where else can we find you online?
So we're on social platforms? Yes, we're on Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, Amma Houston. So that's AAMA and then Houston for most of the platforms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this has been a fun chat, Michelle.
Yeah, I
have really enjoyed this. I'm also looking forward to you being our featured presenter next month.
Yes, y'all come through.
Yes, if you are in Houston and you are a change maker or a nonprofit leader, please join us February 22nd from 11 to 2 at Stuffed Wings, where we're going to be talking about the business of belonging with this amazing woman. Thanks for your time today. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you.